Okay, today we're gonna talk about this disease called multiple sclerosis. Here on the picture is Mr. Jean-Pierre Masqui. This doctor was working in Madagascar in the 60s, and when he went back to France, he discovered that many diseases appeared, like this multiple sclerosis disease, among other diseases. So he asked to himself what really changed in the environment. And at the time it was really the expansion of the electric coverage, the electric grid, the alternative electricity grid getting more and more inside the homes. And inside the homes, people getting more and more equipment plugged, so it's like there is more radiation inside the houses, more and more. So he said to himself, this could be really an effect of the electromagnetic pollution of the grid that makes those diseases appear, like this multiple sclerosis disease. Yes, I'm going to show you now your this is your nerves, the nervous system. Those nerves carry signal, electrical signal. They are conductors, like electric wires, but those nerves are designed to carry very little amount of electricity. We are talking about microvolts, very small amount of electricity, which make our body works and everything. With the pollution, we find ourselves exposed to this electricity going to our body. Here it is my voltmeter. I put one side on the earthing pin of the plug, and the other in my hand. I keep it between my fingers. I put it on alternative voltage, and I read 1.2 volts of alternative electricity. I am wearing shoes, so the electricity charge is in me, it's not evacuated. So if I was barefoot, there will be the electricity will be going to the earth, and I will have a less reading on this. So when you do this test, you have to have your shoes on. So I have 1.2 volts here going to my body from the electric grid of my house through my body and going to the earth, and changing direction. That means electricity going from the earth through your body to the electric grid, because it's an alternative electricity. So we are constantly getting this electricity through us, and it is changing direction, so it's really inverting the direction, so it's very harmful. I guess if it was DC, direct electricity, it will be less damaging to the body. So what happens when this electricity goes through your nerves? We have this nerve myelin, which is kind of the cover of your nerves, and it gets destroyed. Jean-Pierre Masqui says it could be a very simple Joule effect, like overheating this cover of our nerves. Here we can see electric cables which has been burnt. I mean, the cover of them is burnt because there was too much energy through them for what they have been designed to. So we see that the cables are burned. Yeah, so this is the myelin that get burnt inside of our nerves because of the electricity. So people who uses inclined bed The invention of Mr. Andrew K. Fletcher, they get improved. People with multiple sclerosis get improved. Actually, everybody who is sleeping on an inclined bed, 5 degrees inclined bed of Mr. Fletcher is getting improved. Mr. Fletcher just made an invention which is universal for the health, universal benefit, because it's the best way to sleep. Mr. Fletcher discovered that the circulatory system in us needs the gravity effect to move in an optimal way. So the gravity drags the fluids which are more dense down, and those fluids behind them drag the less dense fluids, and all this make every system in us work in the optimal way. The blood circulation, the lymphatic system, the spinal cerebral fluid, your kidneys function, of course, is going down. Your production of a urine is going down. It's the logical direction. Your digestive system, and so on and so on and so on. So when people sleep on his 5-degree bed, people get better. So these multiple sclerosis people, they get better by using this inclined bed, which might be the most important invention, and the circulatory system discovery of Mr. Fletcher might be the most important discovery for the medicine history, the health. So he is, in my sense, the most important person in the health and in the medicine history. Okay, so when we use the inclined bed therapy, it is good for this multiple sclerosis people to also protect themselves from the electricity. So it is really some subject to talk about, but I'm not going to cover it all. Just give you 2 important points. The room where you sleep, you should have a way to turn off the electricity. When I say turn off the electricity, turn all the electricity. That means there is no active wires in the walls. So you will call your electrician and tell him to give you just the control of this room. So he puts all the electricity in this circuit breakers. So you will be able to turn the room off totally, so no wires active. So without disrupting the whole house, you know, because you need the fridge to be on in another place and everything. So it's just a matter of reorganizing the cable, because usually they don't do it room by room. The way they put this circuit cutter, it's not. They don't put it room by room, controlling one room. They put it in like part of the house. So you ask your electrician to put the control of one room, and it's important to cut both wires, because in a lot of electric grids in the world, there is this 2 phases electricity, where the 2 wires carries electricity. So it is very important to cut the 2. For example, this kind of object here, if you have bipolar electricity, when this is off, there is one wire running all over this, and it carries electricity. So in the middle of the room, you have this stuff constantly emitting electricity. This electricity will radiate in the room, and of course it will reach your body, and then seeking the earth. So because the body is conductor, so part of this electricity will go to your body, and from your body to the ground, and changing direction 50 or 60 times per second, depending on your electric grid. So yes, and this is the same, but this is even more dangerous, because there is the coil of the engine inside, which might be, even if the stuff is off, it might be under electricity, the one phase running inside those wires, and it radiates a lot of energy. This is really a dangerous object if it's not controlled by bipolar short circuit cutter, which cuts the whole wires and not let the electricity run inside this stuff. So this radiates and go to you and of course harms you a lot. So when you put the control of the room on this, all the room is off, all the walls, the wires in the walls are off, so the room changes from being some place where you get radiated to a place where you are relatively protected from the other pollution around in the other rooms or other houses, because this electricity will be channeled by the walls of your room to the earth and avoiding your body. So this is one step to protect a little bit those the people from electricity, those multiple sclerosis people. So let their nerves have the time to repair and put them in a less stressful situation. Of course, using the beautiful invention of Mr. Fletcher, which is the inclined bed. That might really be helpful for them. I'm checking the time. Okay, I give you another advice, which is you will hear a lot about earthing, like being in contact with the ground. Actually, we have to be very precise about this. When you go to nature and you walk barefoot on the ground and everything, it's very good because you get this negative charge and everything, and your body is getting rid of its electricity. So the earthing, when you go to nature, try to be barefoot, you know. Try to take baths in the sea, in the lakes, you know. All this is getting your body into the earth charge, so you're getting more life into you. It's very good, but no earthing inside the houses. I repeat, earthing inside the houses is no good, because this pollution, when you are earthed, you just make the way through you more easy. So you will be having more electricity going through you constantly. So you will see a lot of companies selling earthing devices to connect your body to the earth. This is no good. This is no good in a polluted environment, because you act like an antenna. It puts you in a position of antenna. So whenever there is pollution around, earthing is no good. Earthing is no good, especially in a long run. You know, if you are sleeping on a conductive sheet or stuff they are selling now, this is no good. Earthing is good when there is no pollution, when you are in the nature, and also if you are you are in the floor, up in the floor, like first floor or second floor. If you earth yourself, I'm sorry for the noise. If you earth yourself and you are not on the first level of the house, you create too much of a difference of voltage between you and between everything. So you will be put in a position of an antenna, you know. So earthing is not good when you are not in the ground level and when you are in a polluted environment. But earthing, when you go to nature, take your shoes off, walk a little bit on the sand, bat yourself on the sea, of course, and yes, the nature is cool, but the pollution around is not cool. And so in the houses, what you should do is earth the equipments. A lot of equipments now, they sell them and they are not connected to the earth. I mean, their cover, their metallic cover is not earthed, and it's good to just take a wire with something that clips on it, you know, and connect it to the earth pin. This is also will reduce the equipment radiation. So it's the equipment that should be earthed in the houses, you know, not you. So those are just advices. I might make a video specifically about this protection against the electricity. I think I am close to the 15 minutes. So thank you a lot for listening. I say thank you to those very important people, Mr. Muskie for his discovery, and Mr. Andrew K. Fletcher saving lives since 1994, you know, making the people back to health, back to happiness, and have better life. Thank you, everybody.